It's nighttime in the rural Midwest. The Cowboys of Kool Valley are back in town, and they're ready to boogie. Saddle up, whistle britches.
Out of the bowels of the earth and the belly of the beast, through the fire and smoke and brimstone of hell itself, the music industry, comes a new company with women and men who wish to change that which has been happening since time began.
Leave the worries for a while. I'll still be there when you get back.
I'm just a free bird, totally free, and happy still to be.
Welcome to another special episode of Cowboys of Kool Valley. This one's about Vic Chesnutt's magnum opus, The Salesman and Bernadette. It was released on Capricorn Records in 1998, following Vic's premature departure from Capitol Records. Chesnutt was backed by Nashville band Lamb Chop, who decorate the album beautifully with bells and whistles, ornate guitar lines, horns, and all of the wonderful aesthetics Lamb Chop is known for. Vic's writing was at his strongest, where it remained until his devastating departure from this planet on Christmas Day 2009. Vic Chesnutt was paralyzed in a car accident at the age of 18, but never let the inconveniences of the road or the studio slow him down. He made lots of great records, and surely left behind piles of unreleased songs, some of which finally saw the light of day when New West reissued a large part of his recorded catalog. Two masterpieces that were glaringly omitted from the reissue campaign are 1996's About to Choke and this album, The Salesman and Bernadette. We're going to take a trip down memory lane with Paul Niehaus, who played on damn near every song on the album. But first, let's hear a tune from the album. This is my personal favorite, Scratch, Scratch, Scratch.
Scratch, 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 goes the cat on the carpet. She stepped in the blue water bowl. Twitch, 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 goes my eyelid. My tongue in a cavity hole. My passport one hairy night. I think they found it in the Baltimore light. Now I wait calmly in the holiday cold. My love is lent out, tucked in the skin fold. My love is lent out, in the skin fold. There goes my baby. Not really in the middle of the murder, surely left of center of this world. Boast of my conviction as a character reference, with a sweetie needy chop of pearl. The crowd at the courthouse passed around the flue, blew through steamy faces, still in shock in the parking lot. Doing Sunday suit paces, and then we were dismissed. And I
Were you digging back through your memory bank, trying to get some memories going?
Yeah. We'll see how successful I am at climbing into the Wayback Machine here and figure trying to remember how everything went down. But it was a very special event for myself and for Lamb Chop, and hopefully for Vic too. But we had been buddies. When I say we, I mean Lamb Chop, and largely through Kurt Wagner, who befriended Vic for several years, and we had done gigs together, Vic Chesnutt and Lamb Chop, and we'd go to Athens and open up for Vic, and he'd come up here and we'd open up for Vic because Kurt wouldn't dare have Vic open up for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we were familiar with each other, and this was 1997, and in the spring of 97, we had planned a tour with Vic, Lamb Chop and Vic Chesnutt, and we were going to rent a bus, and it was like 2 to 3 weeks, a big part of the U.S., just going around. Lamb Chop, that was a big deal for Lamb Chop because there were like 12 of us.
Yeah.
And everybody had jobs. And so we all arranged to get off work, and we all were all excited about doing this tour with Vic. And just a few days before we were going to leave, meet a bus and leave and go pick up Vic, because he was already on tour with his band. He had kind of a meltdown on the road, and apparently, I think in Cleveland, jumped into his van and drove off and left his wife, who was in his band, and his drummer and guitar player, left them in Cleveland and disappeared.
Oh, wow.
And just took off. And I guess he had something of a breakdown. I couldn't help but think it had something to do with the upcoming tour. Maybe he was stressed out about that. Maybe he didn't really want to do it. I don't know exactly. We never really heard. But everybody was worried about him because nobody heard from him for like 3 days. Not even his wife. And, he had a wheelchair accessible van, so he could get in and drive it himself. But they finally found him, and Deanna, who was saxophone player, Deanna Veragona, saxophone player in Lamb Chop, had gone to Cleveland to see that show, which never happened because he left after sound check, I think. Before the show, she drove the band to Chicago in her car, and they stayed at her place. And then I guess they, from there, got home. And then I guess Vic came limping home a few days later. But that was kind of a precursor to what led to the recording of the Salesman and Bernadette. I think Vic felt like he may have owed us something for bailing on the tour, because the tour never happened. Everything got canceled. So I think he may have felt like he owed us something for bailing on that tour, and asked us to back him up on the recording of his next album, which ended up being The Salesman and Bernadette.
Dogs are barking, birds are chirping. The only thing better if I was squirting, but there's no one here to love on me today. for the maidens on holiday. I'm a sorry, sorry night in a horrible castle, hoping to avoid certain societal hassles. And I know what they say, but I ain't made a claim for the maidens on holiday. Yeah, the maidens on holiday. Ain't nothing but chivalrous. Ain't never been nothing nasty between us. She knows where she stands on the heart of a broken man. She's gonna be bad no matter what. So I might as well go on ahead and act like a buddy any old way. Yeah, I'm still gonna pay for the maidens on holiday. Yeah, the maidens on holiday.
We were thrilled to do it. At the time, Kurt was always like the songwriting leader of Lamb Chop. Around that time, I wouldn't say I was like his band leader, but in this case, I was sort of tasked, or I assumed the job of making charts of Vic's songs for the recording.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me and Kurt and I a cassette of the songs, or at least I got one. I'm sure Kurt did too. And I spent a week making these little charts, so that, because we didn't have a whole lot of time to rehearse, so we wanted to kind of get it together as best we could, because Vic was just coming like the week before the recording, or not even, maybe like 2 days before the recording. So I made charts for the songs, and we kind of played along with them at rehearsal and got familiar with them. And then Vic came into town, and like I said, I think it was 2 days before the recording, and changed all the songs, except maybe one.
Wow.
Seriously. And it was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He just says like, I don't want to do those songs. I got this batch of songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, great. Didn't really have time to do the same treatment. So the process of recording was pretty fascinating. Mark Nevers is a great engineer, and he was going to record the whole thing and co-produce it in a way. I don't know if that was really his credited job, but he certainly was a producer along with Vic and probably Kurt.
In the liner notes, he was given credit as the engineer and mixing as well, which I think this is one of the best mixed albums I've ever heard.
Mark's special. He's really good at what he does.
Can you tell us some other stuff that he's done?
Yeah, what else has he done? Silver Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he did all of Lamb Chop's records.
Oh, wow.
Except, not the first two. So, I hope you're sitting down, and How I Quit Smoking, or Before Mark. And then, was it the Hank EP, or we actually recorded it right before we recorded Salesman Bernadette. That was, and Vic did the album artwork, and I'm blanking on the title.
Wow.
Anyway, I think Lamb Chop, in a way, we peaked right around then. But yeah, Vic did the artwork. It's like line drawings on the cover. And the title is taken from a Grateful Dead song that Kurt came up with the idea to use this line. Anyway, Mark did that. That one, and then the Vic Chesnutt record, the Lamb Chop, are almost back to back.
Oh, wow.
And we were kind of on a soul kick at the time.
You can definitely hear that in this record.
Doing R&B and soul. We're doing some covers, and that kind of seeped into the original stuff that we were doing. I was playing a lot of guitar, but then I broke out the pedal steel for a good bit of Salesman and Bernadette, or maybe half of it or so.
How live was the recording of the record?
Well, one of the interesting things about this process was that because everybody had jobs, we recorded it 5 weekends in a row. And 3 of the weekends were done at a studio called Treasure Isle, which is here in the part of Nashville called Berry Hill. One weekend was done at Quad, where part of Neil Young's Harvest was recorded.
Oh, wow.
And the last weekend was done at a studio called The Castle, which is a little bit outside of Nashville toward Franklin. And it looks like a castle. I mean, sort of, idyllic version of a castle with little columns.
Yeah.
Turret, on top.
Yeah.
And it used to be the home hideaway of Al Capone.
Oh, wow.
And then somebody bought it and turned it into a studio.
Incredible.
It's wild. Yeah. So, Vic had 15 songs that I think 14 of them he dropped on us like 2 days before the first weekend. And what we were going to do was do 3 songs per weekend. And we were going to do the first day, Saturday, of each weekend, do 3 stripped down kind of rhythm section versions, which was mostly bass, drums, Kurt and Vic, and me.
Yeah.
And more or less, it didn't. There were times where there was fewer people than that. There were times when there was more people than that. And with the idea of having basic tracks to do overdubs on, and then on Sunday of each weekend, we were going to record those same 3 songs with the full band live.
Oh, wow.
So since we didn't really know the songs, the first day was actually a learning day where we did end up recording rhythm section versions of each tune. So basically, we had how many takes of each song? 18. So we did 3 takes of each song each day. 9 per day, 18 takes per weekend, all on 2-inch tape at 30 inches per second. By the end of the sessions, we had 30 reels of 2-inch tape, 90 versions of 15 songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
If there was ever a deluxe album that needed to happen, it's the Salesman and Bernadette.
I'll tell you what, we, Marky, bless his heart, after each weekend would put together rough mixes, best he could of each version, so and give them to us to listen to. And I don't know if he gave them to us, but we would listen to them, and everybody had their favorites, their favorite versions. But man, when we got the master back, because this record was going to come out on Capitol Records, they were paying for this.
Wow.
So there was a budget much bigger than we'd ever had. And the Capitol Records A&R guy, I think his name was Dave Ayers, ended up choosing the versions. And I think maybe one of the versions he picked was one that we all thought was going to be on there, and every other one was completely different.
Wow.
Yeah, we were like, what? I mean, now it doesn't matter to me anymore, really, because they're all so good. But those are, I mean, almost every song was not the one that I wanted to be on there.
Incredible. What was most different between the versions that were picked by you and the boys versus the A&R guy?
Man, it's kind of hard to put your finger on that.
They just captured something.
There were some I just thought had better energy, were more together sounding. You know, I mean, I can't really argue, you know, especially at this point, because I don't remember exactly what all the other versions sounded like.
Right.
With what he chose, because they're good. But I think most of us were pretty shocked by the ones he picked. I think the one that we all expected that was on there was Old Hotel.
Yeah.
Because that was the only version out of 6 different versions that was up-tempo. That's the only one that sounded like that.
Wow.
We had done all the other versions slower. I don't quite remember the feel of it. But I remember we were down to the last version that we were going to record, and Vic was like, I'm sick of this shit. Let's rock this up more. And the bass player and the drummer just raised the beat, you know, just sped it up a little bit. And and the bass player came up with this fantastic bass line. And that was it. It was like, there it is, you know. And I mean, it fell together really fast. And I think that might be the only take we did. is great. It's really cool.
Incredible song.
Yeah, when that song kicks in, at the beginning of it, I get goosebumps every time.
Yeah, I do too.
It's really great. So yeah, it was quite a process, that recording.
There's a lot more backing vocals on this record than there is usually on a Vic Chesnutt record.
Yes, we did some full band, like choir, singing along on a couple of them, I know. Which was a little unusual for Lamb Chop, but that's what Vic wanted. He wanted the full, like, let's get everybody in here. We're all going to sing this, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was neat.
It really makes it magical.
Yeah. Vic was fantastic. I mean, he was always on. If he was going to perform, it's like, turn on the machine, record this. You know, everything he did was worth capturing. He was just that kind of an artist. You know, it's like, if he's gonna go to the trouble to play or sing a song, then you should pay attention, and it should be recorded, because everything he did was great. You know, one might be better than another. One day he might not be able to play the guitar very well because his hands were hurting or his body was hurting, which happened a lot. Some days he just couldn't play, you know.
Yeah.
And I saw him do live shows where he could barely play. He could just like hit the root note of a chord and start the song, you know, and the whole song was like that, you know.
Yeah.
And some of those were just, wow, so hard to watch. And if you knew him, what he was going through, but it was so riveting because he was so determined to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but I can just recall like some shows where he was just having such a hard time. And sometimes he would just stop and just sing, because he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, wow, there's some soul singing right there.
Yeah. I was just thinking, you know, if you were going to have a guy that would sing unaccompanied, what more could you ask for than a voice like Vic's? He really had an instrument.
Yeah, he was a very soulful guy. He was a great organ player.
Really?
He could sit at an organ and just rip and sing. And just, wow, you know.
Yeah, I really loved when you guys did the sessions at West 54th, when he did that version of Newtown by himself just on the piano playing. I really love, you know, just him hitting those bass notes and singing the song that way. He can bring so much to it, just in his writing and in the way that he sings and reinterprets his own material and stuff. It's just riveting.
Yeah. Did you catch the interview with
David Byrne?
Yeah. Kurt and Vic?
Yeah.
It's one of the more awkward interviews I've ever seen.
Fantastically awkward. And that's saying something coming from David Byrne, you know. He's a strange dude.
Man.
Vic was still just, you could see that he was a little nervous, but his answers were just spot on anyway, you know. And him talking about his granny on there and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty touching.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd almost forgotten about that.
Yeah. Yeah. When he asked him about, you know, how he came to write songs at such an early age, his answer was really great. And, you know, pointing out the simplicity of the way that Vic would kind of write about what was in a room, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an awkward interview, but Vic saved it because he was good like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when he talked, too. He always had something to say. Every documentary that I've seen, he's always... I don't know. He's always got a point to make.
Yeah, he definitely had something to say. Always. And nobody could say it like Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't mince words.
So the horn arrangements, who took care of that aspect of the album?
I think the horns kind of worked a lot of that out just between themselves.
Yeah.
And Marky probably kind of steered them in the right spots. I mean, Deanna was pretty good at that, so she probably had ideas working with the trumpets.
I have to say the sound of the horns, especially on a song like Prick, definitely has this kind of Memphis Stax vibe going.
Mm-hmm. And I think the horns on Until the Lead.
Mm-hmm.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm pretty sure Vic had that idea.
Knowing what I know now, I should have had a cow. I didn't realize you were to be despised. I must have been
We did that song on Conan O'Brien.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And Conan's horn section got up with ours. So we had 17 people.
Wow.
14 of us, including Vic and his wife, 2 bass players, and then 3 more horns from Conan's band. And that was just triumphant.
Yeah.
Ironically, the version that ended up on the show, we had to redo it because that show is taped live, and the song was the last thing on the show. So we were doing the song, and man, it was fantastic. The crowd was going for it, and the energy was high. We were ripping, but what I didn't actually see was happening was that Vic's microphone stand was dropping. It dropped down to his chin, and it just kept going, and he kept trying to get lower and lower to sing into it, but apparently it went all the way down to his belly, and he couldn't sing. And I didn't even see it happening. He just finished the song, and then the crowd left, and then they're like, "Okay, let's do it again." I was like, "What?" It's like, "Oh yeah." So we had to do it again with no audience, and that's the one was on the show.
Fascinating.
But when you see it, you can't tell there was a letdown. It felt like a little bit of a letdown, but we were still hyped, and it's a great version.
Yeah,
it was a triumph. It felt great.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that on a late show before. It was like, the Vic Chesnutt Orchestra. Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, the sessions at West 54th taping was really impressive too.
Yeah.
Everything just sounded incredible. My favorite thing on there actually was you guys doing Asshole from Drunk.
Wow. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Because that song wasn't recorded very well originally. It's a pretty darn good song, and it was not given a very proper treatment, if any, on Drunk. It was just kind of there, and just a rough tape. And to get the lamb chop treatment in this, beautiful television studio with your great gliding pedal steel guitar whenever it kicks in, the jam I was in, that slide. Oh, you guys nailed it.
Wow.
Job well done, Paul.
Well, now I'm going to have to go back and listen to it because I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
The whole thing is worth revisiting. You guys really made magic.
Well, the greatest tour I probably was ever part of was after that album came out, or actually it was right before it came out. We went to Europe, and Lamb Chop opened up for Vic, who we backed up, but Calexico opened all the shows.
Wow.
So it was Calexico, Lamb Chop, Vic Chesnutt with Lamb Chop tour for 3 weeks.
Wow.
In most of the major European capitals. So that was amazing.
I bet.
And that's how I met Calexico.
She's so musical. Look at her dance in a flurry. Who gets to lead Do know it's not Arthur Murray. Emasculate me with your biology. Bend me, break me, I'm worthless. One wicked brand from your torturous hand. You laugh when I tell you you're gorgeous. She has an answer for everything. She's so smart in the wrong. Well educated, that's a double-fisted drum. Cotton breeze between her cheeks. Spin me, weave me, I'm willing. One finger prick, I know I'll take sick. She'll chalk up a killing. She's so fashionable. She's a Nazi when she's shopping. Wholly democratic. You should see who she's been bopping. Emasculate me with your biology. Break me, bend me, I'm worthless. One wicked brand from your torturous hand. You laugh when I tell you you're gorgeous.
What Another Man Spills is the title of the Lamb Chop
Okay.
album I was trying to think of. It came out in 19...
I had no idea that came from a Grateful Dead song.
I believe that is a Grateful Dead line. Yeah.
That's great.
So that was recorded right before... That was August of 97. And I guess it came out in early 98. And then Vic came out at November, I think, of 98.
Yeah.
We recorded What Another Man Spills in August of 97, and then Salesman and Bernadette was, I think, end of September and all of October.
So doing that many takes of all those songs, did it feel like you guys were really crunching, like really just kind of biting down and working hard, or were you really enjoying yourselves? It sounded like you were enjoying yourselves on the album.
Oh, we were having a blast. I mean, it seemed like maybe the fourth weekend it started getting a little harder, just because we worked all weekend, and then everybody would go back to their full-time job.
Yeah.
Work all week, and then work all weekend. So we were kind of had worked like 25 days in a row.
Yeah.
You know, and it was getting exhausting.
Yeah.
But I mean, Vic didn't, he had time off in between weekends, so he could rest his voice, and
Mm-hmm.
he was pumped, man, in the studio. He was ready to go. But it was well, like I said, the first day we had to learn the songs, so we'd kind of get to the point where, okay, we know the song pretty much. Let's do a take. Okay, there's one. And then maybe we'd work on a little section or add something. Let's try another one. We'll do that, And then one more. And that'd be one song for the day. And then we do 2 more songs the same way. And then the next day, everybody would come in. And it was, recording-wise, it was technically, it was a challenge to get everybody set up. So Marky had his work cut out for him, getting everybody on mic, with some separation, in case. But actually, those days we were doing live takes, so
Wow.
there weren't overdubs on those anyway.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah. We actually, once we, the first day, once we got rhythm track takes, we would start overdubbing some of the other instruments. So that was part of the day as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we must have had to choose one of those 3 takes for each song and start there overdubbing, because we couldn't just overdub on every single version. I don't think we did that. There were some really stripped down versions.
Yeah.
Which I would love to hear again, but I don't know if I ever will. Kurt might have them.
I feel like he always sang better the bigger the band was, because he was kind of a belter. He could really belt out, just sing his ass off, like you said, soul singer style. And
Yeah.
And so he kind of showcases himself vocally on this record for the first time in a way that he had been unable to do so before, I think.
Yeah, he may not have played any guitar on this record.
I was listening for it. I listened to the album earlier today, and I didn't hear any nylon string guitar. So I don't know.
I think he's pretty much just let us do it. Because Kurt was playing, I was playing, Mark Nevers was playing guitar, but more noise-oriented stuff. And there were just so many textures going on that, I don't recall him playing guitar.
I was going to ask about that ambient sound in some of the quieter songs, where it's almost like found sound kind of stuff going on in the background. Whose idea was that? Was that Vic's?
I bet it was Mark Nevers.
Yeah. Because there's some moody sounds going on in the quieter songs on this record that make a big difference.
We had some percussion going on that was part of Lamb Chop's thing, was, like Scott Chase. He played pretty unusual, like, kind of homemade percussion devices.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lacquer thinner can, like a 5-gallon can. He would use mallets on it.
Yeah.
He would hang wrenches. He made a rack with hooks on it, and he would hang wrenches of different sizes, lengths, all the way across the rack, kind of like chimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he would take saw blades and tap on them individually.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of stuff.
It sounds great.
Yeah. And, you know, and we had, you know, Paul Birch was a drummer. Alan Lowry was a drummer. I'm sure there were songs where they were both playing drums, like kits, and other songs where one would play drums and other was doing percussion. And then Scott was also doing percussion. So there was some spooky noises going on from them as well. And then Mark would play his brand of noise guitar. And I can't even describe what he used. Tons of reverb and delay, and he would use a vibrator on his guitar.
Oh, wow.
To generate, you know, a constant tone.
Yeah.
And so there was definitely some spooky factors in there that was sort of built into Lamb Chop. I mean, and Vic may have, you know, Vic loved that. He'd say, "Yeah, do that. That's great. More of that," you know, or something like that.
Yeah. Are there any particular favorite songs on this record for you?
It's a tough choice. Woodrow Wilson has always stood out. Old Hotel.
Yes.
Arthur Murray's just gorgeous.
Oh, isn't it?
Man. Replenished. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There's a lot of really one-of-a-kind sounding songs on this record, Replenished being one of them. Every song is almost like its own little movie, kind of. The sounds are different, the moods, the writing is incredible and really varied on this album.
Yeah. Oh, there's something I was going to mention. I think around 95 or 6, Lamb Chop went down to Athens, and we did a show with Vic. And some of us came back that night or the next day, but I stuck around with Kurt, and he and I and Vic and Mark Linkus ended up going into the studio. I think it was a guy named John Keane.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Who was also a pedal steel player. I think it was his place. And we recorded a couple of things that were pretty crazy that ended up being released. And the name is A Loose Confederation of City-States.
Oh, okay. I've seen that somewhere before. Is that like a 7-inch maybe?
Look that up. Yeah, I think it was like A and B side.
Yeah, I'll track that down. That guy did things in songwriting that wasn't done before, and nobody can do them still, you know?
I know.
He is an incredible writer. Incredible.
I know. It's so Southern. And at the same time hillbilly, but so smart.
Yeah. High intellect.
But the language that he used can be so Southern, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. He wrote songs like they were short stories, and he made it look easy, and it is not easy, folks. Did you guys have any idea of what a special record you were making when you guys were working on this one? Or did it just feel like, what's this going to be?
We just thought it was special to get to work with Vic.
Yeah.
I loved the way Marky recorded Vic's voice.
Yeah.
Totally dry, in your face. It
Right
sounds
up
like
front.
he sounds like he's right in your ear.
Yep. Yeah, it works so well. And at times it sounds like he's just barely singing. Volume-wise.
Yeah.
He's just right there next to you. It's putting headphones on and listening to it, it's great.
Yeah.
You guys did good work. You played on damn near every song on that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I think the only one I'm not on is Parade, the long one.
Oh, yeah. That's my buddy Mackey's favorite.
I actually went to see the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
I missed that version.
Amazing.
Yeah, I needed a break.
It's hard to blame you.
I thought, I'd love to go see the Rolling Stones. So, but I think that's the one I missed. Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, you got to be on every other song on a classic Vic Chesnutt record, so.
I mean, that take is so good, I was like, well, didn't really need me. It's okay.
Didn't let anybody down by not being there. Yeah.
It's interesting to try to pick out my parts. Sometimes I don't recognize what I played back then.
I could see it being tricky because the way that it's so evenly mixed, it's almost like a Phil Spector record where you get two instruments going that are kind of harmonically similar and it makes one instrument kind of a sound, It was kind of mixed that way. Things blend and move up and down in the mix. It's really cool. I can't say enough great things about Mark Never's work on that record.
Man, he's really good at it. Yeah. He still is. He still, he moved to South Carolina now, but he's got a studio set up there too. I haven't been to his place, but he's still doing it.
Well, thanks a lot for doing this interview.
Oh yeah, man. If we think of something, we can talk again.
Cowboys of Kool Valley is a production for Pretend Tiger Quality Recordings and Ephemeral Goods.
Said her father looked like Woodrow Wilson. She said her father looked like Woodrow Wilson, presiding from behind prescription lenses. She said her father looked like Woodrow Wilson. Said her mother act like the first lady. She said her mother act like the first lady. She'd been having those problems lately. She said she's going to the clinic on Wednesday. said her brother wished she was Negro. She said her brother wished she was Negro. Went to school in African American studies. Once he had his picture taken with Adam Clayton Powell. She said her father looked like Woodrow Wilson. She said her father looked like Woodrow Wilson. Saw him once and thought he looked just a little bit like Truman. I know for a fact